Tourism is a big business in Savannah, and a best-selling book is a part of the reason.
So we're talking about Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil, and now there's a way for you to go behind the scenes of its creation and publication. Of artifacts is now available to the public here at the Georgia Historical Society in Forsyth Park, and it's courtesy of the late Dr. John Duncan, a notable historian who was a good friend of the author of Midnight.
When John Barrett used to travel to Savannah to research the characters, the people that would show up later in the book, and the city itself, he'd often stay with the Duncans at their townhouse on Taylor Street. And so as a result of that rich friendship over time, John Duncan, who already was an antiquarian, already was a collector, assembled material connected to the what would be, this national bestseller. And then I think particular highlights in the collection also include the real-life people that show up in the book are also represented in photographs and in letters in the collection. So, for example, there's photographs of the Lady Chablis, there's photographs of Joe Odom, there's photographs of John Barrett himself here in the 90s conducting his research. Globally, there's a certain perception of Savannah that was largely informed by reading this book, by this book being a bestseller. So to be able to come to Savannah and learn more about the real life characters that were behind the people in the book and about John Barrett's process in writing this book, I think is really valuable.
And some of the other highlights include letters sent to Jim Williams, whose real-life murder trial was featured prominently in the book. There is also a manuscript of the book that Barrett gave to the Duncans and a screenplay of the movie from legendary director and actor Clint Eastwood. Before Dr. Duncan's death in 2022, he had pledged this collection to the Georgia Historical Society, and GHS knew the Duncans had acquired all the foreign editions of the book. What they didn't know is that the collection was much more than that, 18 boxes that it took almost 2 years to process. The Georgia Historical Society is also issuing an open call for more Midnight memorabilia. So maybe you or your family members were featured in the book. Maybe you have pictures of the movie being made around town. They would like to hear your stories. You will find out how to contact them in this story on our website, wsav.com/midnight. You will also find out when you can view the collection and see an extended interview with Nate Peterson from the Georgia Historical Society about what the collection includes.